Anyways, what's up, everybody? I am Gandhi, and today this is Gandhi Thoughts number 52. And I'm here with old Paul, also known as PJ, more formally known as Snakebite. PJ, how you doing, buddy?
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. Just got done with a little EU show. I'm in a chatterbox kind of mode, so you're screwed, buddy. You are screwed. Well, so first and foremost here, in case you guys do not know who he is, this is Snakebite. Snakebite, give me a little rundown of your little past history.
Past history, professional Halo player since 2009.
When you were, what, 14?
I was 14, and then mainly on Warriors through 2010 to 2011. Saw some success with that team. I got, what was it, second in at Nationals, so that was pretty good. And then joined Status Quo for 2012, won that event. We won like an AGL. I don't know if you count that as like a real event at the time. But and then after that, on Status Quo still, obviously Halo 4 re-release game. Besides that, I don't know, nothing else besides that really.
Don't give me that, dude. So he's selling himself short here. So at the 2011 National Championship, Snakebite was absolutely devouring everyone. That was like, if 2012 never happened, like that was your event, and you know that you played out of your mind. But then 2012 came around, and you and Royal too. You guys were what, both 16 years old?
I'm a year older than him,
Okay.
so I was 17 at the time. He was 16.
17 and 16-year-olds just destroying everything. It was ridiculous. Do you remember the game when Flamesword went like 8-32 and you guys beat Instinct on?
Yeah, we never let him forget it.
What do you say? What did you say after that? Because I've never ever experienced anything like that in my life.
It was kind of weird because at one point you're like, dude, this kid just went like -23 on my team, but at the same time you're like, yo, we just won and this kid went -23. Like, that's pretty good. So I was like, all right. So we said, like, obviously Flamesword is a great captain. It didn't bother us or bother him at all at the time. And I think he like actually tried pumping up the crowd with that performance. I don't know how that works, but and then he said if we could win, like we were playing actually pretty bad, like that whole Sunday, and we basically said if we can win, like playing like that, and like obviously he didn't have the best game, but he did a lot of dirty work, so I can't even say it was a bad game. But if we can win with that type of game and like a close game like that, we knew we could close out a lot better in other games.
Yeah. Now, so my follow-up question here is, do you think if the 2012 season would have continued for Halo 4, do you guys see yourself still being on top?
Yeah, I think so. I thought I say that because I go off of the teams that were currently a team. So if you go off of like Ambush getting third, you look at that. I mean, I thought, and what our team talks about, to be honest, we honestly weren't playing that great on Sunday. If we played the way we played at the LAN, like a lot of people saw us play, I thought we were going to be a lot scarier. Like going down 2-0 to Instinct was something that at the LAN, even though they're a great team, and obviously it shows up for them more so at events, it wasn't really close at the LAN, and then when we got to the event, we were playing kind of sloppy, and I don't know. So going off of the teams that were currently there, I think that would have been us and Instinct. I mean, I could see Ambush. I think Instinct went to a lot of Game 5s that could have gone either way. I mean, granted, they clutched it out, so you can't really bash them. But yeah, I see us. I'm not going to say we'd win every event or anything like that, like I've heard people say that we say or anything like that. But, I don't think it's really an argument. I mean, we got first with 9 days of practice. You only improve with practice.
I forgot that it was the quick pickup.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
9 days of practice and we won. So I thought it was a good sign going into it, and then obviously if we had more practice, I thought we were only going to keep improving.
Awesome. Yeah, because I did hear. See, I wanted to ask that question, one, for my own like little knowledge, because I did hear that you guys said that you'd win every event hands down. So it's good. It's good that was just a rumor.
You probably hear that from like Tyler Hoyt, like of us jokingly saying that because he's mad that he didn't get to coach us. But no, we're not that cocky. We think we would be a top team. Obviously, we're.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's good.
Saying you'd win every event. I mean, could it happen? I mean, a lot of things could happen with any team. I don't
for sure
know. But to win every event is ridiculously hard. So I wouldn't say we win every event, or anyone could win any event. You didn't even see Instinct in 2011, who probably one of the most dominant teams that I've got to see, like in person while competing, and they didn't even get to win every event.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I have a question before we talk about this roster that we were just talking about reforming. So we talked about it. You were 14 when you started placing pro in 2009. Now you're older. You're still technically a pro. Well, you are a pro. What do you notice? Yeah, an AGL pro. What do you notice is different? Like, is your practice regimen different? Is your mindset different? Like, what changed from when you were 14 to where you are in 2012?
14, I'd say, one, I had a really bad mindset where, kind of like what I feel like a lot of people are now, I thought I should have been somewhere. Like, I thought I should have been placing better than I actually was, which I think a lot of people think that. Like, I don't know. As I got older, I feel like I kind of just took it for what it was. I just started calming down a lot. Like, I didn't talk to... Like, I feel like in 14, like, the way I talked was a lot, like, extremely immature. And I think once I started getting more mature, to be honest, like, my gameplay started getting better because I could, instead of saying, like, yeah, that kid's terrible, like, I would actually go look at things I did, look at things other people did. And it's really just about reviewing yourself, reviewing what you can do. And I had a lot of help. I got pretty good teammates with, like, Robbie B. And if you want to go into 2011, I was still pretty young. I was 16 at the time. With Eomite and Strongside, they were great, like, I guess, mentors where they honestly taught me so much on how to be, like, a complete player.
So you really, so instead of just putting others down, you basically were like, listen, what did I do right here? What did I do wrong here?
Yeah. Strongside, I honestly love that kid to death. He's the type of person who will give you the shirt on his back. He was probably, for, like, forming the way that I play, he was probably one of the best at, like, I would sit next to him. I think we went to Dursky's house one time, and we constantly just reviewed each other, what we were doing. Going into Reach, I was a lot better, so I would say that I didn't have to learn as much, but, like, for the tournament play and stuff like that, I think he helped me out a lot. And then just individual gameplay, I think it was a lot about dropping the ego and, like, not thinking, like, you're the best in the game. It's just pick up what your teammates need to be picked up, do everything you can to win. And once you pick up that mindset, I feel like everything gets a lot easier.
Badass, man. Badass. All right, so everyone knows that this Quo roster, consisting of you, Royal 2, Flamesword, and Enable, has reformed. First question I got to ask you is, why all of a sudden did you decide to get back into the Halo scene?
Well, we were going to go to the UMG and AGL, it just happened, but I had, like, my parents were renewing their vows. It's one of those things, yeah, it's just one of those things I didn't want to miss, and I think 20 years later, I feel like, could have gone to that. But, so we teamed with APG for Nashville, and APG is a great player. I think Classic picking him up is a solid pick. He honestly can win you an event, just because he like that, you know, he turns the game around. But I've teamed with Royal 2 since middle of 2011, so with teaming with him for so long, I'm kind of like, I feel like it's like a weird thing to say, I'm so used to his playstyle that when we play with other people, like, it just doesn't seem right. So, like, I talked to Royal 2, talked to him about things that we did in the past, talked about what we could be doing in the future, and, like, what we could be doing or what we should be doing. And then he agreed to go to the events and stuff like that. And the second he said that he'll go, I was like, all right, well, if he's going to fly from Canada to the States, there's no excuse for me not to go. So I really think of us as like a duo, and with Status Quo, we're, I think, like, just a great group of friends that honestly look out for each other pretty well. So now that Royal 2 is going again, I think everyone was really pumped up, and kind of why the whole thing happened.
Now, I'm assuming you like the 4-shot a lot better.
Yeah, I everyone knows Nashville. It's probably I tweeted about it. Like, my mindset going, like, it was one of those events where I told my team, I even apologized to them recently. I was like, I honestly didn't care, and I feel so bad saying it, where I didn't like the game at the time, and I think I was trying to force playing the game, which I think is just not the right direction. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it does. That's kind of how I did with.
You can't play a game you don't like, and I started playing 4-shot, and Royal 2, he played obviously the 5-shot. I texted him, I was like, yo, like, come play this game. So we played the 4-shot, and the gameplay is so smooth. It's, the only thing I hate is, like, not getting the scope.
But that only helps you in Royal 2 at this point.
It hasn't helped us yet. We have a little bit to learn, but
yeah.
No, the gameplay is so much better. I also have to give so much credit to think who's it? Ghost Alamy, Bravo, everyone at 343,
Yeah.
improving the game so much. I enjoy playing like Throwdown, just going in like trying to get my 50 and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy how far the game's really come.
Yeah. So now, you guys are now completely reformed. Okay. One, you were expecting this team to form, regardless of status quo success. I'm assuming, correct? Like, I mean, there has to be a point because you guys ended on such a high note that the fact that you and Royal 2 are returning, like, there was no way that Flame Sword and Enable weren't going to pick you up, right?
I don't agree with that. I think that
Really?
if they had won or maybe gotten second again, I'd say if they won. If they beat Ambush, I think there's no. I mean, that's different. That's you won the event. If they got second, and I guess maybe felt like they couldn't keep up with Ambush, I don't know if that's really how they felt. It was once they got fourth, it was kind of like, all right, well, you know, we've seen success with this team, so let's give it a shot. Obviously, Ambush are doing a great job. It seems like they don't really slow down. Like they constantly just keep getting better, and that's something that's scary for people, and everyone needs to start practicing. I think now people are actually starting to form teams that are actually going to. I don't want to say beat, because obviously if
contest for
you're
sure.
the best, exactly. But like I looked at teams, just being a spectator, I got to sit back, look at every team, and I look at them, and I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to like be mean or anything like that, but I think people know it. Like it wasn't really rosters that you look at it and you're like, man, that team, they could fight back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just never like that. But now, Classic picks up APG. I know Warriors is trying to make some moves that I think would help them out. Like it seems like everyone's going for a lot more firepower now, and I think that it just seems like people are starting to take it serious again. I said earlier, but that's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
I feel like Halo 4 is like, you know, making the comeback, and people want to win again. Before, I'd question if people really wanted to win.
Yeah, I was the same way, dude, because you saw me on Twitter today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and we're not talking about that. There's a lot of people who, and I was actually like Mick when he came on yesterday, and he was like, you know, before like my first year competing in 2011, you know, I was getting a stipend. I only cared about like making friends, right?
Yeah.
Now you're seeing that ties are being cut, friendships are being thrown out the window because you have to win. That is the end all goal. At the end of the day, that's what matters is winning.
That's how I feel like throughout my whole career, I feel like I've done that. I've done that a lot where I'd say like the only thing I really cared about has been winning. Except one thing I have done is with team changes and stuff like that, I feel like I've kept a lot of friendships throughout it all. Obviously, like with the whole 9 days before the event thing, I'm somehow still able to remain really good friends with Clutch and Dursky.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But
what was that like? And can you walk me through that, man? Because like I remember, because I was casting it, and I remember 9 days before. If it wasn't for that Red Bull land, like I was gonna scream at you guys because it was retarded. But it was 9 days before like the event, and you were just like coming off a second place at nationals. You were just like, ah, fuck it.
Thinking about it now, I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't really. All right, so we were winning online. That's the crazy thing. Like we weren't losing, but there's a lot of like behind the scenes things that were happening with like personality issues. It's pretty open. Like with Clutch, he kind of picked on Royal 2 a lot, and he said that's one of his biggest regrets, and I wish it never happened because that hurt their friendship a little bit. I mean, I think they're back on track now, but he tried making Royal 2, which I think he became like one of the best players in the game in Halo Reach. And Clutch had a big part of that, and I think Warriors had a big part of that for him. And I don't know, it was just singling him out. And Dursky, I always said, Dursky, every single time you watch him, he tries so hard every single game. And that's one reason why I love teaming with him. And the one is like when I knew it was going bad was when we were playing, and I saw him. He just kind of sat back and stopped calling out and stopped playing. I was like, oh, going into the event. We won, but this was going into the event, and I was like, oh, this isn't good.
So then you were approached, and you were like...
We weren't so much approached. It was our whole team. We were considering dropping Clutch, and people, not really me, but people were talking to Flamesword. Flamesword said he wouldn't leave Enable. Then we offered Enable the spot, and Enable said he wouldn't leave Flamesword. I later got a Skype call with Flamesword where he called me out, like about asking his ginger to team, and I don't really know how it happened. It was like a 6 a.m. Skype call where we talked a lot about like what we're trying to do with competing, because I feel like what they were doing when they didn't take the offer, what I feel like they were doing, no disrespect to Ace or Neomite, I feel like they were trying to just keep status quo, like somewhat of the same roster. Like they were doing it for friendships. That's what I thought.
Mhm.
I told them, I was like, I'll be honest, I didn't think they were gonna win with Ace and Neomite. I didn't think it was happening. I'm not saying we were gonna win, but I didn't see them winning either. So we talked about it, and there's a lot of like personal talks that happened, but it basically came down to winning, and that's why we made the team a lot. And it happened at the event where we were sitting there down 1-0 against Ambush, and we had a quick little team talk, one of those pep talks that happen between like commercial breaks, whatever. We're like, we didn't make this team to get third. Let's step it up. And then all of a sudden, I mean, we knew we had the potential to be great, and all of a sudden it started clicking, and we obviously went on to win the event. But
That's fucking nuts, dude.
the whole thing was
nuts.
so crazy. Like the Skype call I had to be in with Derek and Fletcher, just oh my god.
Dude, that's wild, man. I honestly, there's very few times that like I'm sitting here and like I'm waiting for you to finish your sentence just so I can retain it all. But wow, I had no idea any of that shit happened. This is
It's pretty long. I'm sorry for being.
No. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna hit you in the face with some real fucking questions. All right,
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yep.
All right. With the way that Halo 4 is evolving in front of our eyes, okay, we see a lot of different things change, and we know the one thing we know is that status quo, they took a more methodical approach in the past two events. So, for example, on like Simplex, when they would lose control of middle, they wouldn't push out necessarily. They would sit in their base and then wait for them
They
to
played a lot
push.
more passive.
Very passive, okay?
Yeah.
Are you guys actually going to continue to do that, or is this going to be a more aggressive status quo?
Well, I think that's like to be determined, kind of. If we play the way that I would like to play, which I know we've talked about, we're going to be pretty aggressive. In Halo Reach, the event that we won, people don't realize how aggressive we kind of were. Like we played sloppy on Sunday, so I don't know how it really looked. I haven't watched too much of the videos or anything like how we really played. But I think we're a pretty aggressive team, so if that transition's over, then yeah, I think that's how we're going to play. I think we're going to be aggressive. I think the best way to play Halo 4 is, especially with sprint, you sprint around the base, you get a kill, you stay alive, and especially when you have 3 or 4 people that have extremely good shots, which my shot is terrible right now, so I'll say 3. I gotta get it back. But when you have a team, and this is why Ambush is so good, is they do a great job staying alive. Like Pistola is awesome at staying alive. Everyone knows that. So when you stay alive and someone picks off a kill, you have numbers, and when you have 4 people that don't miss, which is why I think Ambush and Classic I think is going to be really good. You know, you just overwhelm another team, and that's where aggression comes in. I've been on teams where you play really passive. Like my Warriors 2011. We couldn't win being aggressive. You had to win being passive. And in the early
boring,
years,
man.
Later on, we were aggressive. But early 2011, we were passive, and it was either it could work or it didn't work. But when you're aggressive, and you're smart aggressive, not like stupid aggressive. Some teams are stupid aggressive. But when you're aggressive in Halo 4 especially, I feel like the rewards are better than the risk.
Yeah. Well, also, Warriors 2011 at the beginning, you guys were passive until like the last 2 minutes of regulation, and then you're like, okay, guys, look, it's Sanctuary. We got to get the fuck over to their hut, huh?
I look back at some of those games, and I'm just like, I don't how they went to game. We had 2-0 leads. That I don't know how they went to game 5s. We were down 0-2. That I don't know how it went to game 5s. But
The comeback kids, man.
yeah,
Coming in hot.
I'll take it, I guess.
All right, next question. You were notorious for being a sniper in 2011 at, the national championship. You had a brainer. Not like the sniper like you always picked it up, but you were fucking ripping face.
Okay, I got
You were ripping face. Okay.
I don't like picking up snipe.
You don't like picking up snipe in this game or in general?
In general. Like,
So
I'll
then why
get
the fuck did you rip everyone's face off in 2011? You had like 17 no-scopes in one game. What was that, Nexus? Nexus King of the Hill? You know what I'm...
2012?
Yeah.
That's, well...
Retarded.
I don't know. That's... I look back at that play on Ogre, I think it was, where I get the no-scope, and I'm like, you're an idiot for challenging. Like, why did you challenge that? It doesn't make any sense. I don't really like picking up snipe. Like, I'll give snipe to Enable or Royal 2 any day. And even in 2011, Dursk was actually really nasty. I think Clutch went off with it. I'll pick it up when I need to. At that time, 2012, I'd say I picked it. I somehow just came across it, picked it up. And that event, I was really kind of like that team talk that we had in between. I went into the we're not going to lose mode where I tried. You always try to. Well, I feel like our whole team really stepped it up where it wasn't just me making plays. Like, I had some snipes, but there was a pick game where Royal 2 had like 6 snipes back to back to back.
Yes.
I know, and Naval had ridiculous games, and then Flamesword goes off in game 11. We all kind of make plays, so I wouldn't say I'm really that great with the snipe. Like I said, I give it to my teammates over me any day.
Interesting. So let's pretend that I didn't just look like a fucking idiot phrasing that question. It's bullshit because you were kicking ass with it, man.
I did good with it. It's not a bad question because I did do good, but I'm just for the general. Overall, I don't.
Not happy with you. So now, looking at your team makeup, right? Obviously, Enable kind of has a rap of this very, very passive player, and now Royal 2 is he's an aggressive sniper. Like everyone, if you remember his gameplay from back in the day, viewers, he was a very aggressive sniper. Like he knows.
I think he's passive. He's not.
He's not a passive player. Do you see the team composition changing? Because I'm assuming if Royal 2 falls into the same place that he did at the end of 2012, like he's going to be the one grabbing the sniper off the starts. Do you see Enable actually having to be aggressive and getting up in the other team's face?
Well, 2012 when we won, and even the AGL that we won with Roy, people think that Enable grabs snipe and like loves grabbing snipe. He's amazing with it. He really is, but he's never been, like even in Halo 3, like Ace grab snipe. Like Enable didn't grab snipe. Enable, believe it or not, I don't know how people don't see in his gameplay. He has a ridiculous habit, and I was talking to this yesterday, where he rarely ever gets caught off guard, and whether that's with a sniper or with not, I mean, I think he's aggressive. For the events that I've teamed with him, and even playing online, he's aggressive. I don't see why people don't see it. He's always been like a kind of flanky. He gets around your base. He doesn't die. He doesn't miss, like kind of player. With Royal 2 coming back, I think it just adds, or with us teaming again, I think it just adds more slaying power. That, well, hopefully adds more slaying power to where, everyone can kind of do what they want to do. That's what it was in 2012. It was kind of like, play your play style, stay alive because that's the biggest thing, and don't be selfish. I was gonna say selfless. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, selfless is correct. Well, no. You want to be selfless. You don't want to be selfish.
But Enable, no. I don't think he's gonna have to change his playstyle at all. I've watched him play over the last 2 events, and I know he likes 4-shot a lot more. I know that people have been giving him a lot more credit for being a lot better on 4-shot than 5-shot. I think it was before. But I don't see him changing his playstyle. We all fit pretty well. I mean, hopefully it's transitions over. We haven't played enough to say that, but I don't see anyone having to change their playstyle.
Interesting. So now, all right, next question, sir. Looking at the Halo Reach spawns, right? Like everyone kind of figured out that system pretty well. It was a little bit different than Halo 3's, but it was still relatively the same. Are you finding it? I know you guys scrimmed last night, and that was like your first time scrimming, obviously.
We played Throwdown, and that wasn't anything.
I saw who was it? The first game, it was like a Station 9. I thought it was a scrim. I forget who it was, but anywho. Are you finding it hard to predict spawns at this point, or is it relatively easy just giving your basic Halo knowledge?
With basic Halo knowledge, I say it's pretty easy. There's some spawns that you're in the game, and out of nowhere someone spawns behind you, and you're kind of like, dude, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even understand how that's possible. Which somehow I say frequently. But the spawns it's pretty. From watching the game, I wouldn't say for me so much right now. I played the game a little bit, especially on 4-shot, and I definitely am starting to get the spawns down. It's not really that hard. But for watching the game, the spawns are pretty good. Like if you're blocking a spawn, it all ties together. You know where they're gonna spawn. So it's not that hard to figure out. Sweet.
All right. Last question, or last couple questions. I guess last question. 2. We'll do 2. Looking, because this is like the heated discussion that everyone wants to know.
Right.
How do you think you can take down ambush?
Like
How do you beat them? Because I don't have the answers for people anymore. I've given up.
ambush is kind of like instinct, I guess. They're really great with snipes, control power weapons. To beat ambush, one, great team. Obviously, I can't hate on them. I hope they don't consider me saying how to beat them as...
No, they won't. They're all good dudes.
But to beat ambush, it's like any other really great team, because you can't really just focus on only beating ambush. To beat ambush, you have to have great communication. You need to be able to outslay them, which is something difficult to do with that lineup. Not just so much outslay them, but when you do kill them, you need to know where they constantly are, because I feel like that's, a snipe drops, you don't know that snipe down or form will pick it up, and the game changes. I mean, it happens. You're going to see a lot more with a lot of players now. With like Roy, I saw Game 5 with him, where I thought Warriors was about to come back, and out of nowhere, he's one of those players just dominates.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So it's the same thing with ambush. So to beat them, I'd say you can't really shut down players. I just say you need to control them or contain them. If snipe down has a snipe, and you don't get de-scoped, so don't challenge so hard like I feel like a lot of people do. Yeah, I mean, it's really, I don't know how to go into too much detail with it. It's like being any other team.
Yeah, no, I was just looking for basics.
I understand, but control the power weapons, which ambush does a great job. Diesel, obviously, great coach. Control power weapons, stay alive. Don't focus so much on, I feel like people focus so much on, winning a fight. Not like winning a fight, but people focus more on killing Pistola and not relying on their teammates to kill him than they do of staying alive. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. So basically what you're saying is people would rather win that individual battle and have that oh yeah, I just won that fucking battle than leaving him and piecing out.
It's like Instinct in 2011 or 2012 even, where I feel like people, one, they thought they were untouchable, which that's a scary thing to go into. For being a competitor or anything, if you ever have a negative mindset, which I feel like a lot of players for some reason now do, they think that ambush is getting first, every other team is second to however many teams it is. That mindset itself will lose you a game, or lose you a series, I should say.
Yeah.
And then when you, I feel like Ryan Noob does it a lot, where he focuses so much on talking crap and just doesn't work out, or I don't know why Pistola is bottom. I'm using an example. I don't know if this actually happens, but Pistola is bottom center, and you're trying to hold top control, and you drop from top to bottom to kill him. When all you need to do is call him out. Someone will clean him up. That's all it is. I feel like people just, when you go against ambush, because they're obviously dominating right now, people break down their gameplay too much, I think.
Huh.
Could be wrong.
I like that. It's very good. All right, so last question here. Your coach is going to be Joe Fries, correct?
I believe it's going to be Firespin.
You're bringing him.
But he might not be able to go. So Joe Fries would be the next in line.
Gotcha. What, for people who aren't familiar with this roster, what can they expect from you guys with basically 3 weeks of practice going into AGL 8?
Assuming we practice hard for it?
Assuming everything goes according to plan.
Well, alright, well for this team right now, talking to everyone, we've only had a few talks, everyone is extremely motivated. It's it's just like the situation before, 9 days before the event. We went to a LAN, came back, and the same day we came back we were already practicing. That's how bad we wanted to win. I feel like it's kind of the same mindset where there are talks dude, let's really take this serious. Assuming we all practice, and assuming World 2 and myself kind of get back to the way we were, I think World 2 will get a lot easier than I will. But assuming we do that, I mean, I think we could take first. I think a lot of teams could take first. I don't want to predict this first.
I got you.
That's cocky. But you will see a status quo. If we're fully practiced and we're all gelling, you will see status quo that can easily dominate a game. I'll say that, at least.
Right.
That's awesome. That's the easiest way to say it, I guess.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, follow Snakebite at his Twitter's right there. Any shout-outs, anything like that?
Shout out to Status Quo. Follow them on Twitter. Look at their streams, twitch.tv/Rural2. SQ Flamesword, and I think Enable is just Enable. Mine's just twitch.tv/Snakebite. Just follow him on Twitter to be on the lookout for any scrims we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing a lot, or at least I'm hoping we're going to be playing a lot. You never really know. But shout out to friends, family, and Firespin.
Sweet. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I love you, buddy.
No problem. Thank you for having me.